We're doing brakes. Doing brakes on a 07?
07 EX.
07 EX.
Kind of EX.
Honda Civic EX.
Why are we doing brakes?
Because Jason said we need to.
Okay.
We got problems in the rear end. The rear brakes are not wearing properly, and the brake pads are. Can you remember what the size was that worn down to, Todd?
232 seconds.
232. So it's time to replace those. And then the fronts.
Yeah.
I don't remember what that was. 5/16.
Oh, let's find out.
Anyway, we'll find out. But they're all worn down too. But the back brakes have got some issues with pad wear, not even wearing properly on the rotor. So we'll be removing the tire, and then we'll start into the brakes. I have to set this back down.
I just hit park brake.
Park brake it. Hopefully the park brake works real well. Okay, we'll get this other side started.
Surprisingly easy to get off.
Okay, Todd, what do we want to do next?
You want to depress that caliper a little bit with the screwdriver. Now this is going to be a little different. This is this has that screw-in spinner for the park brake. So you're only going to be able to depress those pads out just a little bit, just enough to get that caliper housing off. So if you can get a long screwdriver and pop in the backside there and wedge over those pads just a little bit. So if you can just wedge it in there, you can go through the front. That'd be easier. Just got to get a little bit of clearance so we can slide that off of there. And just yeah, try it. One thing you can do, undo this bottom bolt right here.
Okay.
Just that one. That's it.
Size are we
12.
12.
Oh, you're gonna have to undo the top one too. Sorry. Thought we were gonna make it, but that brake cable is fighting us.
Tighter once we get every new stuff on there, huh?
No.
No?
Okay, so now you got that out of the way. Let's pop those pads right the hell out of there for now. Actually, it didn't even matter, but whatever. Normally I bolt caliper back on there, but it'd be nice to have it out of the way so we can get to those 17mm bolts in the back of the retainer. And there's two bolts that hold that retainer on there. Should be 17mm, I would suspect, possibly a 14.
This retainer right here.
For this bracket.
Oh, this bracket. Okay.
The 14s, I think.
Yeah. Here we go. Yep.
Get a 14 and a 15 wrench there and double them up.
Double the same size.
Now we just need to do this.
Turn that wrench. Yeah. You don't have no choice.
Nope. Hold that, Jason.
You want to show them how you did that?
Sure, I'll show.
Thanks.
So we had this in here like this, and to double that up, we just slid this in here to the bottom to give us the ability to pry on it.
Thank you.
You bet.
Okay.
Okay, let's grab the brackets, these brackets here. Over there. These brackets here come off.
Mm-hmm. The screwdriver?
No, open up your pads.
Oh.
We'll just wait for them clips till we get
I was
them.
gonna have him take those clips and redo them.
Now those are usually directional, meaning there's a thick edge and a thin edge, upside down and right side up. Just make sure when you put them on there, they may not be. Make sure you put them on there.
Just double check
they,
these
they
and
don't
those.
have a place they can rub the rotor. They
But
gotta have
they
clearance in between the two these surfaces.
Yep.
Okay.
They just,
I know what you're talking about, Don. We'll look at it here in a second. Need to find the tool that we picked up today. Yes.
really?
I have a bunch of those.
Get the largest Phillips you got.
Oh, you're gonna love me, dude.
So that's good. So now, your hammer. You do have a hammer, right?
Right here.
Okay. And we'll just pretend this is an impact driver. Your screwdriver don't fit there.
No, it does not.
Hold that rotor a little bit so it don't turn. Kids don't do this at home.
It's cracked.
You got a pair of vice grips? Vice grips. There's some of those on the floor of the truck.
Here, would you?
I can throw that away now. Yep.
Okay, hold the rotor. Kind of just apply a light amount of pressure. Going?
Nope. There we go. Can you find another Phillips head now that's not busted?
You got a new impact driver there. What are you complaining about?
I'm not complaining. I'm just saying.
That
Yeah, I'm glad we didn't beat on that one.
probably would have handled it.
Hold on. I was just looking to see if there was a piece in there, because it.
No, I know. I had the same problem. That's why I'm so anxious to take over.
Okay, take over.
Okay, you ready?
Take over.
No. Ready? You ready?
I'm ready. That's what I'm afraid of. How many times you've done that to me? Sometimes a couple times in a row.
Really?
Yeah,
I
really.
wouldn't hang out with somebody that hits you with a hammer.
Yeah, well, I would like not to hang out with that person that hits me with a hammer.
Oh, that's why I don't see you much anymore, huh?
Dude, my hand's never been the same. We were working on the front end of my wife's car.
Mm-hmm.
Todd's like, here, hold this. And I'm like, dude, you're going to hit me. He's like, I'm not going to hit you. You know what he did? He struck me with a hammer. And it was not just a hammer, dude.
It was striking.
It was huge. Wasn't it? It was a baby sledgehammer. And I let out a hoop and a holler. And
What you got there, Roy?
he had a special tool for pushing in the piston that basically backward screwing the piston in that comes out for the e-brake. This is what it is at Napa, and this is what it looks like. It looks like a really strange cube with some fixtures on it. We'll be using this side on the Honda. It's got four little posts that come out, and it allows us to stick it in. I don't know if you can see this here, but there's these, it looks like a little cross here. We'll stick that now into this post, and then we'll start screwing it backward so that we can depress that piston and then get the brake pads on. We'll put the rotor back on and then slip this back on. So that's basically the next step, but it's an interesting little tool to have. It makes this job much easier.
How much did it cost?
$9.
$9.
Where
Yeah.
at?
Napa.
Alright, cool. So we want to push and turn at the same time. Now the thing is, though, is we probably should have opened up that bleeder, which we're not going to do. I know who owns this car and everything's going to be okay. But normally, if you're doing this for somebody else, you want to open up that bleeder so that you reduce the possibility of any contaminants going uphill. Never seen it be a problem, but yeah.
But in theory, right?
Yeah. So what do we got now? So it's depressed fully?
It's depressed fully. That's what it looks
Okay.
like, depressed fully.
And our slots are the same way that the pads are going to go on. So we got vertical and horizontal.
I haven't looked at the pads.
Maybe square pattern.
They're kind of universal.
Okay.
So we gotta find out.
One time we had they gave us the wrong brakes.
Yep, they did.
Hopefully we don't get it again.
None of those fit, Todd.
The
Are
pads
these
don't
the-
fit either. See, you got the front. Here's the deal. Those are for the front. Front brakes. Front brakes. Rear brakes.
Rear brakes or the baby brakes.
Yeah, there it is right there, Todd.
That one looks like it's the right one to me.
I think they're the same on that one.
Just pop out.
Yep, just pop right out. And these just pop right back in. I use this little lip to put pressure on it and hold it in place.
I'm going to lunch with the young one and
Okay.
okay.
Got any recommendation on this one, Todd?
No. There's
My
on
recommendation is
the open side there should be a wedgie clip, so it's like a one way.
well, what's interesting is
You can't see that. Interesting.
this is this.
So you can slide one in first.
Yep.
And push it over and then slide the other one.
Okay.
There you go.
Probably not on the back of this one. This one.
Okay, let's analyze the back. This is a heavy salt weather car.
Where's the back?
Which one's the back?
What is this?
Is this the back?
No.
No, that's the front.
Yes. That's plenty. You don't want that stuff centrifugally slinging out.
Do we need to get a rag or anything? Okay.
Huh?
We're fine. We don't need to. Want me to get a rag? Cut any of it down?
You need to flip that 100 and
Yep.
there you go.
Like that. Yep. I was looking at that.
It didn't pick up any brake cleaner. You good?
Oh, you're good, dude. Got some right there.
Yeah, me too. Is there plenty of lubrication on there? If not, you might want to add some. You got some chassis lube?
Nope.
Well, then I guess we're gonna put it back together just like that.
You want to go get some chassis lube?
No. It's got enough. We're all right. That one anyway. Really? Think so, huh? You might want to see if you can push that in and turn it one more turn.
That's not the problem.
What is it?
This cable that I
Yeah.
tried to undo before,
Oh yeah.
it's too tight.
I mean, if you want to undo that cable.
I don't want to
great.
undo it. I just want to know how to put it on without undoing it.
I hear you. Give me the tool. Let me see this line right here.
Yep.
Here. Let's go 12 o'clock here. Because those are going to slip over these nipples, or this top nipple.
Okay.
Hold that pad in.
Okay.
If you look closely, we've got an odd wear here on this brake pad. It's super shallow here, much deeper here. Well, this is the rear side, and if you can see this piston right here has slots in it that go up and down like a cross, and it has two nipples here that slides into properly, and you can see on this one that it was seated wrong. It didn't fall within the cross like it was supposed to. And so the last person that did the brakes on this one had this one seated wrong. So when it seated down, it seated out against the caliper this way. And so instead of seating square, it seated like this. And the problem with that is it wore this side out, but also the front of the pad here was unable to grab properly. And if you look at that one, it's been worn incorrectly as well, to the point that it's almost down to the metal here. And on this caliper, you'll see that we were only getting about 3/4 of the braking power out of this side due to the coverage here, which is dangerous. And so the thing to note and remember here is that it's important to make sure that these line up properly with this caliper. Now, Todd, what is the proper alignment of this?
It'd be well, it depends on the position of the caliper, but it would be 12 o'clock to the top of the caliper, right where you're holding the screwdriver. It'd be 12 o'clock.
12 o'clock to the top of the caliper here, which means this should turn another 1/8 of a turn when we're ready to put it on. It still has to be compressed at this point to put this back together, but when we're ready, this line here or this line here should be 12 o'clock to the top of this piston. And then when this goes in, it will align properly and we won't have this type of a wearing issue on the brake.
Correct.
So this is a do-it-yourself at your own risk. There's two unprofessionals, extremely unprofessionals, and one professional that guided us through exactly what we were getting done. Hope you guys enjoyed it and it was informational. If you got any questions, please go ahead and put some your questions in the comments below. And if you like it, then give us a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys.